This program.
The big story of the day is taking place at the federal courthouse right here in Charlotte.
Last time on local news, longtime African-American reporter Beatrice Thompson was forced from her job, and the desegregation trial ended in rancor.
Every school system is supposed to be unitary. It is the extraordinary when people are assigned based on their race.
They want to prevent this Board of Education from providing an equitable learning environment. That is overt institutional racism.
And coming up,
they're coming to us out of this next break. Should be about a minute.
Keith made a promise to me that if I came here, I would get to do storytelling.
We got some people coming and going, and we're trying to get everybody lined up.
Everybody who is successful in this business has had some research or something affect their job stability.
Am I not doing my job effectively? I hope I'm responsible enough that people would trust me with the big story.
Poor Mike.
He wants it to stop, so...
If he wants to stay, he's going to have to cover it.
We'll have to fix that.
People have this impression of what we do, and it's nowhere near what we do.
this program was made possible by support from the Ford Foundation, a resource for innovative people and institutions worldwide, the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, the Jacob Burns Foundation, and the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the road that been. What? 13 finger rotor, 50 mirror wash, Italian greens, 17 light.
6 News. Stand forward, he's calling.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
Can I get another day off tomorrow? Since I work today?
Yeah, why don't you take tomorrow off?
Bill's leaving, right? He's going to be a news director. What he's going to pursue his dream, which I've tried to talk him out of many a time.
Huntsville paper called. They're doing an article on me.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great opportunity for you.
I just want to thank all of you. Our performance was outstanding. This is the management team that's going to take this news department places. And I feel really good about that. I feel really good about the level of professionalism and brain power in this room. With Anzio on board now and moving Allison to days, the level of teamwork between the people in this room is highly commendable. Everybody knowing what they need to do, everybody doing their job, and helping everybody else get their job done. I think you should all be really proud of that, because God knows I am. That said, we have, based on a tenth of a rating point, lost $48,000 in the last 2 months. We are losing too much audience. It is costing us. It cost us over the last 2 months. That's just on 10 o'clock news. It cost us $48,000, cash money. What are our options in the 10 o'clock news? What are our observations of the 10 o'clock news?
I think storylines should be short, pacing should be fast. I think people have short attention spans. I think TV news is a headline service. Pacing's everything, I really do.
What about substance?
Substance, if you're doing team coverage on a city council story, that's important probably, but it's a boring TV story. And you do 3 stories on it, they're gonna be surfing all over the place. They'll be at Howard Stern on E in 2 seconds.
Well, it affects them, Joe, though. I mean, you know, it can affect them in their pocketbook and in their children and things like that.
Need some concrete ideas as to what we can do to improve the retention of our second quarter hour at 10 and 11.
I want to see the roller skating elephant. You know, I'm going to stay tuned and watch that. Whatever the elephant's doing, you know.
I bet you if we had a segment of topless dancers, featured topless dancer of the week at 26 minutes after the hour, we probably would
we could make it legit.
Well, yeah, we'd say it's hard news and it's important.
Like she's working her way through college.
Yes, that's right. That's
After you figure out what's going on, how many nights are you going to stay tuned for the water skiing squirrel when you realize you have to go through a 7-minute block of commercials to get there?
I'll hang with it.
It's
got to be good. It's got to be good.
See, I think the average person at home just doesn't think that way. I don't think that they at all have a short attention span.
I don't think they think at all. I don't think they even know what the hell's going on.
I totally disagree. I think those people, sure they do.
Hey, this is entertainment, let's face it.
Joe, I appreciate your positions. and that probably will get a rating, you're right, but I want it to be about something more than that.
You need some news. I feel like you really do need some news. I mean, if people go stay up at 11, they stand up for news. They want something from us, and if they're not going to get it from us, they go turn and get it somewhere else. And I feel like after weather, you need something there, and I don't know if we can have a piece that we promote every day, that that we know is coming up. I don't know if we call a NBC6 special report every night. Here's our special report for tonight.
Anzio Williams is our new assistant news director.
Tonight, and
he wants to win. He's got the fire in his belly. You need people like that.
It's coming up tonight at 11, and if we do it for the early evening shows, which is what we're doing now, if I'm not mistaken, right? We kind of know the day. Yeah, we kind of know what's coming up at 5 and 5:30.
General observations in the news business.
So why not move?
So whatever the answer is, I think the answer is in news. It's not in a gimmick. We all work during the day, and sometimes we get our priorities all screwed up. Late news is responsible for 4 times as much revenue as any other newscast we do. It can't be an afterthought. Without that late news revenue, we're nowhere.
News is always a frustrating mix between what we would like to cover and what do we think would draw numbers, people. I think you can effectively judge a sitcom by ratings. That's a smart idea, because if people aren't watching it, then it's probably not funny or not entertaining. But when you judge news, are you judging it by entertainment value or fun, or is it makes me feel good, or do people actually watch the news because they like the personalities, or they're being entertained by the eye candy, or they're transfixed like it's a car accident, they have to stare at it because of the gore of a Columbine High School shooting? How do you rate that? How do you measure what's good news? I oftentimes wonder if they just ought to scrap ratings for news and let us go back to telling stories we feel like are important, not because they're the ones we feel like will get us numbers. So there's always that tension, and you'll feel it in our newsroom all day long, and every decision that's made, there's a push and pull between wanting to do a high-quality job and then needing to absolutely cover the stuff that we know people will watch. Hey, can you guys see me? Tiffany, Allison, whoever's at the booth, can you see me?
I love hurricanes. It's like the ultimate television news story. You've got the build-up, the climax, and the aftermath. The coast is hugely important to people here. People have homes there, people have relatives there. A lot of people here go there to retire. People are starting to notice that when there's serious weather, we take it seriously. And that's good.
I hear them dialing the IFB in my ear right now, so...
Since I can't hear you, you're going to have to ask the station to check that audio.
Okay. I got this handy waterproof notepad. I'm upgrading. Got my anemometer, I got my waterproof notes, I'm ready to go! Oh, I hope that wasn't live in Charlotte. I'm looking for a job tomorrow. I think we lost IFB, or they're in a package I can't hear, or something. They said they were coming to me next, but now I don't hear a damn thing. I think we might need to... Hello? Who am I... I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you that time. We're standing out here on the Grand Strand. This is, of course, Myrtle Beach, and this is where they're expecting, of course, the eye to either hit or pass very near to. Right now, I've got my anemometer out, and we're getting wind gusts, a maximum of about 33 miles per hour just a little bit ago. I think right now they're in the 20s. It's starting to pick up here. As you can see, the rain is picking up, the surf is picking up. They're expecting a 15 to 20-foot storm surge tonight when the eye comes close to here, and on top of that, 20 to 30-foot waves.
We've really got to get the whole producer ranks by Monday laid out.
There'll be a little,
And if you know of any other producers out there...
Yeah, I placed a couple calls yesterday, but...
we're probably looking at paying low 40s, so, figure that in the equation. All I care is we get somebody smart,
Yeah, we got to get somebody that's teachable.
Yeah, smart and malleable.
Between midnight and 6 a.m. they'd be very good.
One guy I had, I told you, is going to Miami, going to your old stomping ground, SVN.
They're raping them left and right. I mean, they can't keep them.
Well, you know, he sees bright lights, big city.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You go.
We're live in Myrtle Beach. I apologize that I'm not able to hear you very well. I'm Mike Redding for 6 News. I had a nice job. I was doing design work for these really cool big movie star homes. It doesn't matter how snazzy the job sounds or romantic, ooh, that's cool, movie stars. No, it's like any job. You get sick of it after a while. WCNC, if one person at a time could talk into my IFB and tell me when to speak, I would be able to hear someone. But when two people are shouting at me, I can't tell what anybody's saying. The only class I could get in without a prerequisite was Introduction to Broadcast Journalism. That was about as ugly as it gets.
This is a major hurricane. Of course, Charleston, South Carolina isn't all the way out of the way, and the northeasterly winds could also affect the Outer Banks. But it is certainly the biggest storm that we have ever been through. I'm Andy Fox reporting live from Myrtle. Guys, now back to you. Well, that's the way you do it. IFB, got to use the phone. That's a great thing about covering a hurricane. When things go wrong, people understand.
You have to find what your passion is. My passion is people. The story's just about other people. Just real folks. Here's the word. Keith wants to see the ocean, he wants to see the waves, he wants to see the wind, he wants to see trees. But they hear from people who are staying. So we've got the two people earlier today that left. And I think what we can do is compare and contrast. We've got old timers who are just getting the hell out of here because they know this one's bad. Are you okay?
Tired.
You want some more coffee? So we got old timers who've been around for decades. And then you've got the other fellows who have volunteered to come in. They have to stay technically, and they need a staff here.
You want to make a package out of that?
I think that's a good package. So, do you want to get your camera and we'll shoot a couple interviews here and some of them doing their jobs? Because that's... Keith was worried that I was going to interview reporters. Mr. Terrell? My name's Mike Redding. It's an honor to meet you. From NBC in Charlotte.
I just went there yesterday.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, it's going to head further south.
I can't
Yeah, way north everything.
Yeah. Well, everybody was piled into Charleston yesterday, and then they're all piling up here, so.
Right.
Got there.
Right.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Okay, good luck with your story.
Thanks. You guys realize who that was? Tom Jarrell. Brilliant reporter. Great writer. That guy's a legend. It's people like that, like Bob Dotson and Charles Kuralt, and people who write like that, who they almost don't even need sound bites because they write so well, as opposed to my stories where I fill them with sound bites because I don't know if I'll ever be able to write that well. Let's go find some video.
Stay safe.
We'll be back.
See you later.
What time is dinner?
When I get it ready. You don't do that to dogs.
I was always riveted by Charles Kuralt stories and Bob Dotson stories and Ed Murrow, and I realized if I could just go out and match pictures and words with sounds with people, I could do this and be happy. I don't have to make a lot of money. I could do this and be happy. Yeah, you know we're getting our highest gusts right now. If I'm getting 41 down here on the ground, the surf is huge right now. What a shame. What a shame we can't go live right now.
NBC News correspondent Bob Dotson went there today, has a damage assessment.
Bob Dotson again. He went there.
Tourists who survived Floyd's longest winds trying to escape the Bahamas today. Some hotels deserted.
Dan, you want my hair dried?
Scrambled for flights home. But on Freeport Island, the air traffic control tower was completely underwater, and 13 people had to be plucked from the top by boats. This in wind struck the freighter high and dry.
Because you were waiting for the helicopter.
Car windshield. But hotels suffered only minor damage. Here, the storm terrifying. but not deadly.
He's got no nuts.
An aerial inspection of the Bahama Islands late this afternoon, some still partially underwater. Eleuthera, 100 miles from Miami, was at the eye of the storm. It was surrounded by 155-mile-an-hour winds, but miraculously, most roofs still intact. Bob Dotson, NBC News, Nassau.
I'm going to do a phoner. We can't go with the satellite. Hello, this is Mike. Yeah, I'd like to know right now if he's going to use me so I can get the fuck out of this ring. They're coming to us out of this next break, so it should be about a minute. Keith made a promise to me that if I came here, I would get to do storytelling. They've been fair with me. They've been really honest and fair with me. Time will tell me if they are people of integrity and kept their promises. Hello! Hello! Hello, this is Mike Redding.
Did you get a chance to read the strategic plan? Yes. Okay. Well, let's sit for a little bit this afternoon and just kind of walk through that, talk through that. All of it, get all that stuff done.
NBC6 reporter Mike Redding rode out the storm last night. And Mike, what kind of damage is the light of day showing here?
Right here, we're in North Myrtle Beach right now. And if you take a look down there.
We never missed a shot. We excelled in that area. I think if the storm had more to deliver and the video was a little bit more impressive, I mean, you know, the storm...
Here's a C-. As hurricanes go, maybe a D+. But everything is about getting ready for the next time. It's all about being ready. And there's no excuse for us being surprised by events. We need to know about them and prepare for them. There will always be a next time.
This is a very important case. And the whole community's health is at stake when you have schools that are in crisis. And this school system is in crisis right now. That's essentially what it comes down to. You know what I mean? You had a really ugly court fight there that cost a lot of money. You know, it cost a couple $1 million. Now that's money that could be used to educate kids.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go live. I think they're gonna make us do a live show hit right now.
Right now?
Can we stream together some bites quickly for me to toss to?
Yeah, I'll work on that. 25, the news base. It's Goldman along with Sterling. We have a question for you. Do you want Sterling live, and do you want these bites from Velma Leak and others as they came in today?
This is a Nell Houck.
When big stories break, you gotta be fast, you gotta be first, you gotta be right.
Okay, 10-4 to both of those. You want Sterling set up live?
This was a big story.
10-4, we're going to take Sterling live, no
We're
sound.
trying to throw as many people at it as possible.
Taking Lisa's shot down and we're putting up Sterling's shot.
Okay, that way. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna have to wing it.
What you try to do is give people as much information as you can. Answer as many questions as you can.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my thoughts together quickly. Okay, you just want me to talk.
We have 99,000 kids in the public school system here.
Okay.
There's nothing more important to most families, the children and their education.
School officials are huddled now behind closed doors. They're trying to craft a response to what is no doubt a monumental decision that will end business as usual here in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. I talked to school board members as they filed into this building today, people on both sides of the spectrum. Some saying that it was certainly time to end race-based assignments and forced busing for the sake of integration. Other school board members who said the job is simply not done, that equity has not been achieved for African-American children. Some even got into a little argument here. Even though it was very cordial dialogue, they simply said, I don't agree with you. And so certainly we'll be hearing a lot in the months and years to come even, but the biggest question everybody is asking today is what happens next? Now, of course, parents have been calling this building to find out what happens to my child. But no one can really answer that right now. They're simply going through this voluminous document, trying to determine what does happen next, but we can tell people out there that nothing happens immediately. The judge has clearly said in this order that nothing will be affected this year. Status quo for this year. Student assignments remain intact. Busing assignments remain intact. So parents need not panic or fear that there will be major upheaval in the school system this year. But certainly next year, things will change for Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools.
When we first flew out at noon as a midday show progressed, we started taking phone calls and everybody just got something to say. And that's good, so we stayed on for an extra hour just to let people talk.
This whole issue of desegregation, it's overwhelming. There are so many, it's not just a court case. And I hope that's what we're getting across to our viewers, to maybe transplants who came here from different parts of the country, people like me who never experienced that. I hope we're conveying the point that whatever decision we make here is massive, and it's going to change history.
At 6, we're going to come from Glenn doing basically, here's what the ruling says. I'm going to set up team coverage instead of putting you guys head-on all like you're going to do at 5. We're going to do basic mini versions of this. Okay. I'm Glenn Counsel. I'll have details on exactly what the judge said in his ruling. I'm Sterling Benson-Weber. I'll tell you everything a parent needs to know about what this decision is going to be. 5 seconds.
That's 6 paragraphs. Just simply what people are asking and want to know about this impact.
Right, and you know, whatever you've heard today that really people care about, is it going to start this year? What does that mean?
Right,
you know, all that stuff that we talked about earlier.
Let's remember that Glenn is not Sterling. He not from that whole education thing. So he pretty much, you know, we need you to find it and deliver to him as possible. Like, break this down so everybody can understand. Plus, and as we know it is over. So before we ask him something, let's make sure that he...
Right. What I'm saying is let's have talking points.
Right.
Let's have goals of we want to answer these 3 questions and make sure that Glenn
I would give him like another 30 minutes, let him tape that stuff.
Yeah, because he's swamped right now.
Right, he's in the middle of a little crunch.
When you're coming at the story from as far behind as I am, you know, which is never covering it, you know, we're doing all the DSEC stuff. I'm out on the coast, you know, doing troubleshooting hurricanes to try to make sense of it out of nowhere. I'm actually asking reporters from the other stations, okay, now who's that? Who's that? Who's that? You know, if you feel about that big.
On behalf of the parent plaintiffs, I'd like to thank the court for its careful consideration of all the facts and evidence. Today, the court...
I don't have any idea who these people are.
When we're our children...
Anybody can walk up to the mic and say, hi, I'd like to make a comment. I'd be like, great, who are you?
It's clear that Mecklenburg County is a highly integrated area, a solid community on the rise. So using race in school district policy is not only illegal, but it's also un-American, and it undermines a child's values.
I didn't know when I came here that they were moving people around. I think I'm one of the younger, cheaper people that was hired. If I was hired to replace older, talented people, all I have to do is go out and show that I could be someday as good as them, so that people can't turn around and say they hire brainless morons that look good on camera.
I call on this board, their attorneys, and the superintendent to immediately stop the mischievous behavior. It's time to educate our children.
In other cities, they've already ruled that this was unconstitutional. So I don't know how anybody could have been shocked, and I guess in a way it's strange that the school board spent so much money and time defending something that had already been overturned in other cities. That was a surprise to me.
You kind of knew it was coming. But you know what one person told me? They gave me the analogy that it's sort of like a loved one who's ill. You know they're not
going to make it, but when it happens, you're never ready. That's what they said to me today at the school district office, is that we knew it was coming, we expect a decision, but we're still like caught off guard, you know? And it's true.
We took too long to set up at 5 o'clock. When we went to the whips, I got no sense that we were going to go to whips. We had nothing, there was no production values to that whatsoever. We needed to, you know, you needed either a flash of white between it or a cube or something. I thought we should have packaged the NAACP, which I thought we were packaging. Why didn't we package the NAACP?
There just wasn't 2.5 minute 2:40 breaks. There was not enough time to run a package on everything.
We really needed a reporter presence on that. Technically, we lacked a lot of snap. We're going to do the live hits. Those have got to just snap. And maybe we can't do them live. Maybe that's where we're missing the boat. But they're just not crisp. There's no snap to them whatsoever. We're going to generic school buses are open. We're going to put pictures on the screen on a story this important. They damn well better have some relevance. I'd much rather do graphics and say these are the main points of that deal than just showing 2 minutes of kids walking off the school bus. Okay? What else? What else? I don't want to see any long faces. Geez, you look like I shot your dog or something. I want you to think I'm upset. I'm very proud of all that we do. I thought we communicated very well. People at the station, people in the field. It was just how it translated to television. We're doing the right things. All we got to do is get to the point where we're taking the right things that we're doing and making great television out of it.
Can I get you to just keep it to 1:30? I gave you more time than anybody else.
Well, okay, because in my package I was going to raise the issue of magnet schools, choice plan, and equity.
Which is, those are the big, I mean, that's the...
Okay. Well, I'll just keep it short if I have to. I just didn't realize we needed to keep it that time.
Well, as long as you keep it to 1:30.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I had this notion of going live at 11, 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I've been telling my family, I'm going to drop dead on the day it comes down. I only had one hit at 12, and then really quick something at 5. And then at 6 a package. So I've got to make this really short. I know this story. They actually said, we don't need it. We'll share the load.
You know about the whole desegregation ruling today? We're trying to, at the last minute, assemble a round table of folks who graduated at least class of '83 or afterwards, you know, who have gone through that whole desegregation and busing thing, just to kind of get gut reaction and whether they think it worked for them or provided them with a better education.
They very like everything.
I know. That wasn't right.
But that's the tip response.
But it wasn't right.
It wasn't.
You followed this from the beginning, and you knew more than anybody else who's covered
No,
this
but it's
thing.
not even a matter of me knowing more.
But I guess that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
No, it
That's not right.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. But hell of a job.
Well, thank you,
The problem is we don't have a racial balance. We've only got one African American on the panel. Okay. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, bye. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. She's in the middle of dinner and she's going to drop what she's doing. And she's back. All right. Let me, will you answer her phone just in case, and I'll let Sonia know that Coletta came through for us. I'm very proud of the station. Coletta came through for us. She's leaving dinner. We've only got her for like... Really proud of what they're trying to do. Perfect. I'm proud of Keith saying we want to give people information that they can use. And I'm happy that we are doing a lot more community service, a lot more community service efforts going on, because we have an awesome responsibility, not just the station itself, but us individually. So hopefully this experiment will work and it'll catch on. We'll see. Just in general, as far as the the ruling goes today. Good decision for Charlotte and its children, bad decision. Who says good? Busing helped them educationally. All of you. Were there any drawbacks?
At the time, there were no drawbacks, because it was when I was in junior high school, and all this has been going on, and I've thought and even asked my parents. I said, what did y'all think when I had this 45-minute bus ride? Were you not taking this so personally? I mean, because so many people are looking out for their kids, and they said, well, we were looking out for the community. And I think it's changed a lot, and this ruling it's affected me. I used to be a public school teacher. I'm not in the public schools anymore, but the growth and the opportunity to get to be around people that aren't necessarily in your neighborhood. In Charlotte, we don't want to admit it, but we're a segregated city for the most part, and the public schools was the last passion of getting people that don't look like yourself, not all white people in one place, and it's I think it's a sad day for the city.
Mm-hmm. All my friends in all my classes, it was always diversified, and I really felt like, especially going into college, with most of my friends coming from communities that did not bus at all, I felt like I was much more open-minded than anyone that I went to college with, actually. So it was a great experience for me.
I think there is a lot of peer-to-peer learning that goes on in the classroom. There's a lot of people helping each other, say in a lab where there are people from different socioeconomic backgrounds that are paired up. And I think that helps bring the overall level of the classroom up. Now the people that are opponents to that say that people at the top come down and they're not allowed to get enough attention. So, you know, there are two sides to the story there.
To be in an integrated school system, that's just the only way to be, is in an integrated school system. We have to even force ourselves to integrate amongst our community. And it's sad that it has to be forced because we don't do that naturally.
Do you think that it is possible, without segregation policies and race-based policies, that black and white children will get equal educational opportunities?
I think that that's going to be the largest challenge here, is to make sure that the different neighborhood schools have equity.
All things equal, books, resources, teachers, but there's social education, and that there's no way you can replicate that if the schools are segregated. And that is such a key piece. How to live in society. I mean, we're different. We're all different, and society is different, and it's being ripped out. The only place where you're going to get that, and it is forced, but I think the learning there was so great. So the social part of the education won't be equal. There's no way it can be, in my opinion.
And now you're looking at a matter of now, 10 to 15 years ago, when this community was very much black and white. It is no longer black and white. It's black and white, and it's brown, and it's yellow, and people are living in their own communities. And unless we bring those communities together in some way, and the easiest way is to begin with our children, there's just no way that we're going to become the melting pot that really is existent here right now.
One of the things that I would challenge all of the news organizations is, because this is so important in this community, is to try to spend a little bit more time on doing a very good, lengthy piece. And you guys have done a great job. Today has been fantastic. I'm just glad that I was off work today so that I could actually watch this. And I would encourage us to really talk to the community, people and parents with children, and really try to do a piece.
Everything you said would make the piece wonderful. And if I could do a 10-minute piece, it'd be fantastic. I've just got to pick a few things and put them together really quick. So
how long is it going to be?
Get rid of his gum.
I'm through.
The whole story will be, minute 30.
So what?
It'll be minute 30, whole story. And I'm not even going to be home. So somebody gonna take this thing?
Everybody did a fabulous job out there. But at the same time, you'd like ownership of a story that you've invested in. That's what it all means. Am I not doing my job effectively? I hope so. I hope I'm responsible enough that people would trust me with the big story. I don't know. And sometimes it makes you real sad, because you try to do a good job and try to be responsible, and I don't know. I don't know what the rationale was. I really don't. I would only be speculating.
Whoa, here they come.
Well, the big bad person.
They're fading out, but they're there. It must be just windier than hell up there.
It's getting cold out here.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mike Ray.
Come on. Whether take him while you can. Come on.
Real time now.
Guys.
If this storm is a dud, then it's going to be the little boy who cried wolf. And it'll be that much harder next time around when there's a smaller storm that comes through here. People are going to go, oh, it's just that Channel 6, make big deal. And we feel what we're doing is totally appropriate.
6 crews out on the coast, and yeah, that's why I spent all our money. That's what, and you know, we're live up and down from the Abyss all the way down to Charleston, so the entire Carolina coastline coverage.
Watch Mike.
Mike, it looks like it's been a rough morning. Well, actually, I'm going to step back and just show you how rough it's been. Watch the wind take over now. Gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Coming to this dude. Here's the problem.
Oh, check out our live shot. Wait, Jim, you've got to see this. Mike is leaning backwards into the wind. If not for the 90-mile-an-hour breeze, he'd fall into the ocean. This is great. You got to get over here to the East Coast, babe. When's the last time you guys had a good hurricane in Kansas? Okay, Jim. Bye.
Mike, have you heard anything about the Cape Hatteras lighthouse?
Can't hear. Jump out of it.
Looks like Michael had a little trouble hearing.
Get out of it.
We'll try and get that in.
All
Did we lose that shot?
Okay, we got it.
Ryan?
We got it.
How are we doing?
Okay, there are still some power.
Good, I just put Mike Redding on for an hour and see what happens.
The Mike Redding Show.
He's doing great.
I was gonna say, well, we're looking out the window, just keep doing Mike.
He's up for the next minutes if you just want to put him in front of the camera and let him do a monologue.
Where Mike Redding is now, winds are sustained at 57 miles an hour. They are gusting up to 65 miles an hour, and that's the winds that Mike is talking about.
I can play just by nature of probably being a halfway good athlete, but I usually will play basketball. How you play?
Yeah, they're talking about getting a fall softball league together for the station. Fall softball team.
Yeah, tell them we like the president and vice president. We can't be doing everything at the same time.
Running each other in the outfield. Who's going to run the pleasure?
Who's going to run it?
Did on the cut in.
Berry Road.
Mike, it looks like it's been a rough morning.
We've had a treacherous 24 hours out here, and there's been, actually, we have things to go around. Heavy rain and heavy surf. Take a look at that.
They're really good. Our midday show did a 3-3-12, a 12 share, which is, I think, the highest that program's ever done. Morning show continues to show growth. Early evening newscasts, I just may have to put a bullet in my head. I don't know if there's anything that will get them off the dime. But they were very good. And late news did terrific. Late news outperformed its lead-in again by 3 share points. That's terrific.
Nobody has any glowing people like we do.
What it stressed over and over again was...
You know what I mean.
You know what? We're the station with blowing people. If a storm blows, we'll be out there again. That's our commitment to you. We will risk life, limb.
All right, maybe it wasn't said well, but you know what I'm getting at.
We're in fine shape, Keith.
Okay.
The question is, how many shows do you want to have Michael up at the top?
Probably, right now, probably just the 5. But we want him in all 3 shows.
Then the other thing is that Kurt should probably lead the 6th, because that's pretty compelling stuff.
As you build a news organization, you have to win the big story. We clearly won yesterday. We won because people worked well together. They thought it through, and they exhibited tremendous dedication and devotion to the cause. And that makes me feel good as, you know, as a team builder, as a leader, as a, you know, manager of people. that what you're working towards is coming together. You know, I mean, there's days when you just want to bang your head against the wall and it's never going to work, we're never going to get there, we're never going to be able to compete on this level. And then there are days like yesterday, and they make me very proud.
Poor Mike. Hey, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, Allison should be talking to you in just a second.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Come on, Allison, talk to him.
Hi, Allison. Hey, the lead into my package is only 2 sentences.
He feels like he wants it to stop. It's like Linda Blair, Mommy, make it stop.
I know, I understand that, but
so
if he wants to stay, he's going to have to cover it, and that means he's live in the early evening newscasts.
Okay. Well, I agree. He'd need to be standing up 3 times in 90 minutes doing the same thing. There are lots of good stories there to tell. If he could live video one show and at least, you know, turn a package with some people angle for one show, and I think that would give us better quality stuff and keep his juices flowing. So,
okay.
So right now we're booking time 5 and 6 in the hopes that be there and do it.
Mike, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
No, I mean that in more than a cursory way. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I can't quite hear y'all.
Turn the phone, would you? How you holding up?
Pretty well, actually. The bottom of the pool fell out last night. Then all night I was under mandatory evacuation orders. The dunes I've been standing on are just about gone. And then as each day wears on, the people keep saying, when's it going to end, when's it going to end? And it starts to erode your psychological well-being. And people really start to get frayed on the edges right around it, and that's what's happening.
How much longer can you hang there? Do you want to hang there or do you want to come home?
Well, my nature is to get out and find a couple of people that are really ready to snap. Because my gut instinct is always a people story. And I need to be steered off of that so that I don't get all frayed on my own edges thinking I'm not getting the good stuff. What is making good television for you all?
You being there is making good television. I know it gets a little repetitive and tiring, but being in the middle of it all and sharing your experiences, that's strong stuff. Can you do both? Can you go out and get a story this morning if you don't do anything for midday? And then can you be live at 5, 5:30, and 6?
It's not necessarily a problem doing live hits one after another. My hunch is if we leave right now that the erosion is almost complete, the best video might still be out ahead of us. And we're going to miss that house falling in the water. You want me just standing out here saying the same thing every day? Because this is dramatic stuff to us. We're in it. We feel it. But if it tends to be repetitive, I don't know what it's like for viewers back there sitting in 80-degree sunshine.
They can kind of feel it through your experiences.
It's a constant battle.
Stay safe.
Bye.
All right. Let's get going here. Let's bounce around. Everybody, you get a minute. So sell it and tell it real quick.
You coming, big boy?
Angela, when I started this process, there's another name on the username thing here.
Jeff Sonyer. He's a very good reporter.
Alicia, are you going to wait for 5 minutes for me?
What's in it for me? No, what do you need? What do you
I
need?
was just playing with the computer, but I can do that later on.
He started today.
You need
Seven,
the
seven.
computers say the high scores.
He's going to increase the level of our enterprise greatly.
Bart's king of the one-liners. Are you going to travel with us? Or you?
If that'd be fine with me?
Yeah, yeah.
We got some people coming and going, and we're trying to get everybody lined up for the fall. Make sure we've got everybody in place and the right people in the right places.
Video poker is a losing business for South Carolina citizens, pure and simple. No matter what rhetoric they throw out, we have to work hard and pursue. And as old Strom Thurmond...
People have this impression of what we do, but it's just nothing like what people think it is. I can't imagine the other stations would pass this up if they had known.
You gave me your card, and I
Yeah.
kept it, and I called the other.
I've spent my entire career, well, I sure appreciate it, trying to be myself on the air. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank you, and I'll keep you informed.
Okay, I do appreciate. Continue to call me. We've got things going on.
Thank you. I do look forward to it.
But the problem is when you're yourself, you're out there. And if they tell you, well, we don't think enough viewers like you, that kind of hurts. Sometimes I think people are looking for me to be an airhead. They almost want to think that I just kind of showed up and sat down and read somebody's script.
Start with the big shots of the crowd off the top, but I do want to throw in like third or fourth shot, some video poker. Well, maybe you can just lay it over something just to get a couple shots in there. I'm still writing. I'm almost there.
This is the first time that's happened. I was a little embarrassed, and I thought, gosh, why couldn't they recognize me for, you know, something concerning intellect? But then I realized it was just for fun. When I won that Sexiest Woman award, just 2 days before, I had found out that my contract wasn't renewed. I was taken to the anchor desk. But I'm all smiles, and, you know, I'm sure everybody's going, wow, she's so lucky. She's got this great job, and she won this award. Are we right after the shooting package? That week was one of the lowest weeks of my life. There were days where it took everything I had to keep myself together. The toughest was the lottery night, because nobody knew.
Nobody wants to come on board a number 3 with the expectation of still being number 3, you know, forever. I mean, I assume the reason they want me to come on and work for them is because they see me as a piece of the puzzle to get, you know, to get beyond and to overtake the others. And I think, I agree with them. I think I can help them do that. I think that I do that.
When we were out there and Jeff Sawyer's there, it's like having an intern with you. You just can't let down.
Well, Sonia, they only expected a couple hundred people, and 700 shows. Tonight they learned how to convince people to vote against video gambling when it comes up on the ballot November 2nd.
It's happened to everybody in the business. Everybody has had some research or something affect their job stability. And there's just nothing I can do. But a lot of people in this state would argue that there is support for video gambling, that it's one of the main reasons that Jim Hodges was elected governor. We'll have a clearer picture on that coming November 2nd. Reporting live from Rock Hill, Alicia Booth, 6 News Nightcast. So things are never quite as they appear. Thank you. Actually, Wayno, you want to do the morning stand-up when you get out of the... Huh?
I'd rather finish the package and get
It's
done.
not, Bart wants to finish the package, so I'll just come out early. I'll come out early for the 11.
This is a brutal business. Nobody would have thought that AC would be knocked off the desk, made a reporter. They need someone who attracts, you know, different women viewers. She doesn't. She attracts male viewers. So, boom, you're gone. Just because maybe you're too pretty. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how they came up with those numbers.
Couple things as we get started. A reminder, we have baseball tonight. So late news will be on late. And just a quick review on the hurricane. We own the story. We saw it coming. We had a good plan, and everybody did their part. You should be really, really proud of what you did. Paige, why don't you start us off?
Okay, speaking of hurricanes, 3 hurricanes in 6 weeks or whatever, what are these people's psyches like? I mean, they've got to be just completely depressed, and I didn't know if people...
They're worse than mine, and I'm whacked out.
Well, we already know that too.
Sending hundreds of volunteers over to help them mentally.
Yeah, there may be some good stories there. And then pumpkin prices, we can still do that story, go out and see, you know, are they really more expensive than they were last year like they're supposed to be because of the drought? And then
Pumpkin prices, reminded me of something. The farmer's market at, what is that, Queens and Providence? Kings and Providence?
King Springs and
Wasn't that supposed to be out of business? Weren't they supposed to shut that down and build an office building?
The corporation that's buying the land is rethinking their plan. If they do groundbreaking, it probably won't be this spring.
Okay. Mike?
I've got a whole bevy of story ideas I've been pushing for a while, but I don't have any good news ideas today, sorry.
Nothing?
Nothing from the floods, nothing that you saw.
Well, I mean, there are non-urgent stories out of the floods to do, but I don't think there's any local stories.
Well, what's the big deal today? Senior drivers interest me. Let's have Mike do senior drivers, and we'll figure out another way to do the Woodlawn intersection. Let's do that, and let's go to work.
I do actually have a reason for wearing shorts.
What's that reason?
My story, reporter involvement.
For the involvement, she wants to, for the record, she wants to show off her legs so other
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let me tell you. Maybe 10 years ago, not now.
Now, who is this on your, oh, that's Elway.
That's Troy. That's Troy.
Troy, yeah, Troy. What's his name? Aikman. They all look the same.
Isn't he beautiful?
Troy? Oh, he just reminds me of like an airhead or something. I mean, I don't...
No, you know, jealous men say that.
I'm not jealous
Scott
of Troy
Sayers
at all,
says the same thing.
I mean,
hey, Scott.
Have you ever heard him talk?
What do you think of Troy Aikman?
He's an idiot. He's a great quarterback, but he's also as dumb as a rock.
There you go, thank you. Have you ever heard the man talk?
Yes, I have. I thought he was very insightful. But I don't care about his talking abilities.
We're not going to say that we'll pull the plug if she's still here, and if she really wants to go to another market. I mean, we'll certainly work with you to make that happen. If something good happens at Fox, we'll help you with that. And if she decides she wants to stay here, I mean, the reporting offer sits on the table.
Anyway, I'm gonna call this little school board attorney and get my little story set up and see what I can make happen there. It'll be fine. That's my new philosophy in life. Everything's gonna be just fine. Hi, is Lee Parks there, please?
Hi, is Robert Jackson around? Maybe there's someone else that can give me I'm a reporter, and I'm looking for an AARP spokesman down in the Charlotte area to talk to today. Oh, elderly and driving. Well, what, you know, just that kind of stuff.
We did this story about a year and a half ago, so let me see if I can find it.
Thanks so much. Goodbye. There's nothing worse than doing a story you don't even think should be done.
When I was a kid, nothing ever came easy. Get a job doing whatever you can do.
Can't think of the guy over at Triple.
Work in the factory till the factory closes down. Then you try to find something else. And you don't get too big for your britches. I have meetings out of the office this afternoon, but if she'd like to call me back, I'll be... Okay. Terrific. Thank you. Bye. The hardest day in journalism, there's nothing compared to what those folks had to do to make a living. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. It's a lot of the craft of television, but I don't know if you can teach people to want to follow you. Cops are here. Heard you running around without a leash on. Let's go. I'm gonna goddamn tie the two of you together with baling twine and chewing gum. You're gonna work as Siamese twins. And from now on, I want you back there ramrodding that goddamn thing until it's right.
I'm tired of people saying I'm colorblind. Because if you're colorblind, you don't see me. So let us spend our last dime. Let us pick cotton for a long time to get the job done.
That just flew by.
It's amazing how quickly 12 hours can zip by.
Step into the newsroom with PBS Online. Check out the local news companion website on pbs.org. To order a cassette of local news for $29.95 or of the 5-part series for $119.95 plus shipping, call 1-800-336-1917.